Yes, we are back again. It's a good day to be speaking to you. I am Osezwa Anthony Elimihe. I am still your host, and it is a pleasure to be having you sit here and listen to what I have to say. It makes me feel so useful. And if you indeed like what I am saying here, click the like button. And if you have any comments, whether it's a pleasing or not pleasing comment, just put it there and we will access it. Okay. Now, if you don't like this video or whatever it is that I'm saying here, click the unlike and drop a note for us. Let's see how we can handle it and get better. Yeah, now we're back on the road. We started this about 3 days ago, or can we call it 2 days ago? Yes, we started on the path of creation. And please listen, when we're talking about creation, we are not talking some biblical, some historical, some religious stories of creation. That's what we're talking about. This has nothing to do with religion. Rather, from our close observation of nature and life, we are able to distill 3 distinctive principles that govern the creation. We said one of them is abundance, which we discussed yesterday. And then the second one we said is non-discrimination. And then the next one is generosity. Okay, now let us just go right into it and take the second one, which is generosity. What is generosity? It's simple. Just be kind. Just be lavish with your goodness. Sometimes when generosity is mentioned, people just think it's me putting my hand, dipping my hand in my treasures and bringing out and giving to people. That's generous too. But you see, the most generous thing you can do without offending anybody, without breaking any law, whether it's of nature of anything, is with your goodness. You see, the smile that you spare another person, the encouragement that you give to another person, the admiration that you express towards another person is just immeasurable in their goodness. It is good to give because it is written, it is more blessed to give than to receive. This is the beautiful part of it. When you are giving to somebody, you are actually getting. When you are getting from somebody, you are owing. See the difference? But the only way you can give without owing, the only way you can receive without owing in the process is by giving. And this is it. You are not better than what you give to others. Your life cannot improve better than the things, the sum total, the interpretation, the implications of the things you give to other people. This is just simple. As you give, first of all, so you are. Get it? So if you want to become a much improved person, you want to become a much better person, then what you are going to do is to only dip into the treasures, the good treasures of your being. Like it is written in the scripture, it says, a good man out of the good treasures of his heart bringeth forth good. So in us, anyway, there is really not a good man or a bad man. We just have people, we just have men who are living with the consequences of either a good decision or a bad decision. And again, I tell you this, good decision, bad decision is a matter of semantics. It's a matter of pragmatic implications. What you might see as good may not be good to me. All right? The guy that is going to rob a bank today, who has been planning for months, who has been praying for months, who has been practicing and putting his acts in order to go and rob a bank, and then he goes and succeeds big time. That action for that person is good. But the owner of the bank manager, the people who will be present at the bank to receive the brunt of the action, for them it is bad. This is why we say that actions in life are neutral. And like we learned in language classes in English, we learned that language gives reality to things when they name them. So be careful and be reluctant, be slow to giving a name to whatever happens around you. Now, the tenet of generosity is that if you look at nature, for instance, everything in nature comes in lavish. Nothing comes in, paucity, with a sense of paucity, with a sense of, stinginess. Stinginess on its own, it's moving against the course of time. It's moving against the current of life. This is one of the reasons the masters over the ages have always encouraged people. Do not eat alone the things that you reap. Do not spend only on yourself the money that you earn. This is why you have the concept of family. This is why you have concept of selfless service, giving out without expecting anything in return. It's like when you give out, you are saying, this is my contribution to life. And the rule has always been, give to people who cannot pay you back. All these people can only do is thank you. That's the best they can do. And you don't even accept the thank you. You bless them back with the thank you. But there is a higher way of also giving without anybody telling you thank you, because they won't know who gave. Anonymous donation, going behind the doors to give. But what can be more anonymous a donation than if you were walking on the road and you come across an accident scene, and there is really nothing you can do to help anybody at that point in time, and you say a word of prayer without anybody knowing. You bless the people that are involved in the accident. Okay, I learned this some years ago from, I think, Hans Willem, in his video that he does, trying to explain life, and I saw it very, very good. Because whatever you give to life comes back to you. Remember the scripture? Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measures, pressed down, shaken together, running over, so shall men give unto your bosom. Now, this, in a lot, like every other scriptural truth, have been bastardized by the Orthodox religion, where this is now being used as a verse to extort money from people, to extract all kinds of, money from people in the name of one thing or the other. But actually, it is the totality of life. Give of yourself. Give your time. You have a child, you have somebody, you have employees, you have people that dote and depend on you. My friend, spend time. Give them of your time. Give them of your wealth of experience. Be friendly. Sometimes the things you give in presence are far better than what you give as money. Money is a measure of value. It is not the value in itself. What you give that becomes value is your time and your experience. Then the other thing about generosity is that nature, if you check very well, does not criticize. Okay? It doesn't. Even if nature were to criticize, how many of us do you think will be able to survive life? Nature is indifferent to our nature. Nature responds to us as we are. That is why we are all manifestors. We were created to manifest whatever it is we have given our attention to. I remember I told you that life does not understand English, French, German, Edo, Esan, Urobo, Isoko. They are all artificial. It is at the level of the mind. But what nature understands is feeling, emotion. So what nature is waiting for is for you to send an emotion to it, send a feeling, send part of your energy. That energy of yours has been colored with a desire. Okay, has been colored with a desire, and then you send it forth. Nature grabs it and replicates, multiplies it. That's give shall be given unto you. Replicates it, multiplies it as material things, as feelings, better feelings, that is reward. It could be health, it could be happiness. Like, look at it this way. Whenever you gave something to somebody, you are happier. There's that lift that comes from your inside. That is nature responding to you, just saying, thank you for giving me. And then watch it, it's going to produce more for you in that line. So if you give criticism, for example, condemnation of what somebody is or what somebody has done, that thing comes back to you. What is it that comes back to you? Then the nature of that thing that you criticize, because you have invested your energy on it, the thing will come back to you generously. So if, for instance, somebody does a job and you didn't quite feel it was okay, and you now castigated that person and bombard the person, you guess what? You are going to be having opportunities for such in your life. And you will discover that the more you criticize people's works, even if you were better than those people in those areas, your capacity to do great jobs at the level you have actually attained will begin to diminish, because you are giving credence to their mediocrity by your time and energy spent criticizing. And so gradually you become like them. If you want to know what I'm talking about, look around in any industry, in any business. Any human being that makes it his duty to criticize, to condemn the works of others, when they are given the opportunity, they cannot even do as good, or they do around that level. So if you criticize somebody for being sloppy, for instance, you criticize somebody for being mediocre, you criticize somebody for being whatever, for being sick, all those things that you criticize will come to you, because you are opening the doors for them to come to you, because you are investing your energy on it, your energy and your time. Your emotions have gone in there, so it will pull them back to you. It is just the simple law of nature. This is one thing about knowledge. You know, sometimes the curse of knowledge, of being knowledgeable, is that we criticize, we condemn. You are hearing from the very best person to say this, because anybody who knows me years back will know that I was a master critic. You see, when you criticize, you lock yourself in that realm of mediocrity of the things you're criticizing. What is the best thing to do? It's simple. Look at the job, praise the person for his or her effort, okay, and then move on. It doesn't mean you should do a civil kind of praise. No, look at the job, because this is the reality. Everybody produces at the level, at their best level of production. The writer, the speech presenter, the YouTube video maker, the dressmaker, the car repairer, everything, they are all producing at their best possible level. Even if it is not best at the level of the enterprise itself, of the skill, it is the best at the level of their understanding. They feel this is the way I would do for me to benefit more. It is their level. Nobody operates below his or her level. They operate at that level because that is what they have judged as the right level to operate at. So what you should have is empathy. Not even sympathy. Empathy. You look at them and feel for them and wish them higher understanding. You wish them growth. You wish them improvement. Sometimes wish them improvement could even annoy them, because if they have done the very best, just bless them and say, well, you will improve next time. I know you can do better. I know it is in you to do better. You move on. But going on to start castigating, reducing them, making them feel cheap, you are hurting yourself, really, not them. In fact, something nature can actually do will make them, they will just be advancing with their mediocrity. You'll be doing better with their mediocrity. People, they'll be receiving acceptance because, see, success in this life is not really about the excellence of your inputs. It's about the excellence of your commitments. If you are acting on the basis of best possibility at the level you are operating, nature will accept it. Go and think about what we talked about dominant desire. If you are operating at that level and you put up a mediocre work at the level you at, it's good. Nature is just like when, imagine a baby drawing an adult, a baby, let's a 4-year-old child, picking a pen and watercolor and draws you as the father. How do you think you respond to that baby? You will start criticizing, then you are not serious. You are going to be so happy. In fact, you see it as the best drawing. You can even go and laminate it, even keep it. That makes the child feels good and you are happy. The child will be encouraged to do better, to keep doing it. And the more the child does, the better the child becomes at it. That is the rule of life. Encouragement. Wayne Dyer, one of my mentors of long time, before he passed on, he said this thing. He said, when you have an option between being nice and between being right, between being kind and between being right, he said, choose kind, choose nice. And this I came to understand later. You can actually be right and be violent at it. But when you are kind, you can never, ever be violent. Kindness pays. Kindness rules the hearts. The curse of knowledge is criticism. But when the genius in knowledge is encountered by the knowledgeable, criticism ends. So until you become that genius, control yourself and withhold criticism. It is very important. Don't do it. Don't condemn people for their work. Don't condemn people for what they are. Don't condemn people for how they talk. Don't condemn people for how they dress. Don't even condemn people for their religion and their beliefs. Don't. Because whoever is operating at his level of religion, it is the best possible way for that person at that time. Nobody embraces a religion that is going to destroy him or her. They embrace religion because they believe it is their path to salvation. Please respect them. You can throw them something that will make them think once in a while, but don't condemn them. Don't try to stand in their way of expression. That is the nature of life. It is generosity. Look at life. There are multiple religions. Somebody even told me that in India, there are 1,000 religions. And you think if life were not generous to everybody's opinions, that God wouldn't have come down and warned all of them to say, stop worshiping nonsense. I am the one you should be worshiping. He doesn't care. He allows them because he knows that whatever they do, he is the ultimate. Why can't you be like God? Why can't you be like nature, like creation itself, and withhold criticism and give love? Give encouragement. That is generosity. The reason I'm telling you this is that you are not hurting anybody by being stingy, by being not generous. You are hurting yourself on the long run. I know what I'm talking about because I have been there for years. Because this is what happens, that you will realize that no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how resourceful you are, you just can't move forward. Because you are placing obstacles on people. When you are criticizing people, you're actually saying that you don't wish for them to progress. You feel they are not good enough to get to where they have gotten to now, so you condemn them. There's a sense of competition in criticism. And so, what measures you give to others, they give back to you. So you realize that you are so good at what you do, but you're not getting patronage. You're not getting encouragement from anywhere. In fact, your excellence becomes not naturally, excellence is a deterrence to all forms of negativity hurled at you. But this is where it happens. Because you are returning negativity for negativity, what then happens to you? You are stagnated. Rise above the current of your time. Be generous. It is the way of nature. Bless you.